Your resume sucks. Well, maybe. I don't know. But I'm going to help you improve it. As an engineering student, your resume is going to represent you whenever you're not speaking directly to a recruiter or an interviewer. And because of that, it's super important to keep it in tip top shape. So, in this video, I, an engineer and recruiter, am going to give you some tips. Basically, a format of what I look for when I'm looking at people's resumes and some tips that helped me out when I was a student. So, to get started, I'm going to pull up a sample resume that was sent to me for review. Obviously, all of the sensitive information, such as the name, address, whatever else, is censored. So, don't have to worry about that. And that's what's in this top area here, this blank space. That's where the sensitive information was. And just FYI, in this area, typically it's your name, address, phone number, email, and maybe a link to your LinkedIn or something. So first thing I'll do is I'm just going to take a quick look at this, just scan it over, see if anything stands out in particular as like bad or whatever else, and let's take a look. So the resume looks good. It looks fairly streamlined, fairly straightforward. Education, experience, leadership, projects, skills. Okay, that's good. There are a couple things I'm going to point out here in a minute when I go more in detail, but overall, just from a brief look, it looks good. I like the design at the top, separating the personal info from the rest of it. It's a nice break between the two types of information. Having experience at the top is very good. That's basically the first thing that a recruiter is going to look at, and it's the first thing that a recruiter really cares about. I like the wording, the action words that as soon as I read them, they already know instantly what you did. It's not confusing as to like, what tasks you performed for this objective. You're telling me exactly what it is that you did. Um, when I read these kinds of things, it gives me a sense that, you did participate in this. It's not something that you're just throwing in there to fluff up your resume. It's, you actually participated in this, and I can ask you any question and you will be able to respond appropriately. Okay, leadership is good next. I think honestly, you can have either leadership or projects next. It's not that big of a deal. Um, I will say though that I just kind of skimmed through the leadership section because I'm more interested in what actual engineering you've done. Okay, let's take a look at these projects. I like this. It's consistent with the rest of the resume. I will say, I wish the dates for some of these projects were posted on there so I know when you did these projects. That gives me a sense of like, how fresh it is in your mind. It's fine to not have dates on them. That's totally acceptable as well. It's not a bad thing. Um, you better know every single detail of these projects, regardless of whether you did it years ago or not. Um, so let's look at these skills here. That's good that the skills are listed on here. Personally, I would split the skills section into soft skills versus hard skills. So soft skills are typically, teamwork, project management, etc. While hard skills would be like CAD, coding, Microsoft Office, something that you actually like, you know, do physically. Again, that's not necessary. That's just my personal preference. That's how I have my resume set up, and I appreciate that sense of clarity between the two. Lastly, looking at the bottom here, I would add in whatever extracurriculars you have if you have them. You could combine them as well if you prefer to have leadership on top and then your extracurriculars on the bottom. That's totally cool as well. Personally, I like to combine them, so I say, I would have involvement, and then I would put I was the leader in this instance, in this club, doing whatever, and then I'd have whatever leadership I have, and then following leadership, but still within the same section, I would have whatever other involvement I have. Yeah, I think this is really good. Overall, this is a solid resume. I appreciate the level of detail, the attention to detail within the descriptions of what they do, the action words. I think this is a really solid example of what your resume should look like. From the student side of things, I have an appreciation for this resume because it, accurately reflects what we do and explains it very well. And then from the recruiter side of things, I think this is an excellent example of what you should aim for because it says exactly what you did and how you did it, and in some instances when you did it, and also it's explained at a level of detail where engineering recruiters can appreciate that and can understand exactly what you did, but it's also not too complex where some, like, say HR recruiters wouldn't be able to fully grasp the engineering concepts that go into this. I spoke with this person recently, and I know they were able to secure a fantastic engineering job before even graduating from college. So, mad props to you. And yeah, if anybody else wants their resume reviewed or looked at, or any sort of commentary, go ahead and drop a comment, shoot me a DM, and I'm more than happy to help you out and take a look at your resume and review it. Thanks for watching.